Okay, well, let's get rid of that. Okay, try it again. Okay. So, welcome everybody, and we're back from Tacoma. And I think before we get into the whole thing we want to talk about tonight, I want to go over Tacoma, which was just. I got home Sunday night. I was not, and listen, let me tell you something. It was a really good thing. I left Sunday night and not Monday to come home.
What happened?
Big accident on the way home.
Oh no.
Yeah, other side of the Hood Canal Bridge. Might have been there a while. Anyway, so
I got in at 9:30 yesterday morning. Red eye.
Oh, I hate red eyes with a passion.
I don't mind when it is, as long as I get home.
No. So I probably got home, stopped to grab some dinner on the way home. Probably got home, I think, around 6:30 that night. Which is good.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. It's daylight.
Mhm.
Coming home in daylight is good.
Exactly.
The Pet Styles Relief Fund, we had a really good weekend. So
Okay.
Denise, I'm going to turn this part over to you. You tell us.
Oh, so excited. Okay, so we ended up, hang on one second. We ended up doing, well, I haven't gotten the grand total, but originally when I counted, we had raised $1,970. And of course, I know, but here's the thing. And then I was so sad. I'm like, oh, $30 could have gotten us to 2,000, and that would have been a really cool mark. So Todd from Barclays said that he would have given me $31 if when I finally did the final tally, so I could make that. He said 31, so I could be over 2,000. As I was going through the bag, because we were a little at times disorganized, I found at least $40. I haven't finished going through the bag because it's been busy. So we raised over $2,000 for Pet Styles Relief Fund.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I want to say we did that with limited stuff to auction to raffle off. So that was totally on the people that were there.
Mhm.
I love my new locale. I love this area. Right. They are very focused on education here. One of the things I did here was that, why people don't go to trade shows because it's the same old, same old. And I'm going to dispute that fact right now. Yes, there are some core programs you will see at every single trade show. And the reason they're core programs is because they form the basis of what we do. The Skin and Coat, the Terry's
Bather Brusher
course.
Bather Brusher. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it fluctuates between Mindy's geriatric dogs and Melissa's grooming the difficult dogs and the behavior and handling. And those are standard classes, and they should be at every single show because you can't you can't take every single class that they offer. But there was a lot of new stuff there. Okay. Yeah. I did a 4-hour emergency disaster plan class, and that was the first time that it was at any live trade show. Denise had a couple of new classes, one of which I'm really sorry I could not watch. So we're going to have to kind of fix that.
Denise? It was really good. I actually told Todd, we ran into him at the airport on the way home, and I said I could actually make that a 4-hour. I thought I was so afraid I didn't have enough content. And once I started, I could have just kept going. And it's tech savvy grooming, software, social media, website, and AI. So that one was a hit.
That
That was
one-
a Sunday from 2 to 3, and it was pretty full for a Sunday from 2 to 3.
Yeah, my cat class on Sunday was pretty full too. So when classes are full on Sunday, you know that people are going to that show for education.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay?
I don't
So
know. Did you hear the stats? I don't know if I told you the stats. Todd was saying that usually it's 20 to 30% of attendees attend the education part of the trade show, and in Tacoma it's 40 to 50%.
Wow.
So
That's so awesome.
for a small show, my classes are more attended than the larger shows.
oh, seriously,
That's
my
Mhm.
classes are more filled in that tiny show than they are at much larger shows.
Mhm. And Washington, I have to give Washington State credit for our raffle because them so trained, all the Washington people trained that you do an auction. So they were looking for something to help out with. And that was amazing. They stepped up. So thank you to anyone who's watching who was there.
Okay, so that said, oh, and also I want to do another reason. Okay, so I've met new people at that show. In particular, your friend Danya.
No, I love Danya. We met her at a cruise. That's to show you what cool friendships happen on the cruises. She was an attendee.
So she came to the show for Denise, and now she and I are friends.
Mhm. She's an amazing human being.
She is an absolutely amazing. So you meet amazing people at trade shows, okay?
Mhm.
And yes, her service dog tried to take down my booth.
He was very excited. He got
Yes,
to play. He got to see you. He was free from working for 10 hours.
yes, he was also on vacation, and so he acted like he was on vacation.
Went a little hog wild. I mean, it does happen. I mean, we've all been on vacation, and
Mhm.
you know,
He did very good. It was his first trade show, and so he's really only working when she's blind in one eye, and so he's only working when she's in motion, and he's a lab, so she allows people to pet him and stuff and be a dog. As long as he's working while she's in motion, and he doesn't lose sight of that aspect. So she allows him to be a dog as a service animal, and she 100% has like the barcode and everything, the QR code that goes to the register and everything else. But no, his name is Bucky, and he had a blast meeting everybody. He had so many pictures taken. So
Are we frozen?
I was wondering if Mary was frozen or if she was thinking.
I think she's frozen.
She's thinking an awful lot.
Oh, that's it. Guess what state Mary is in?
Really, really hard.
Right? I haven't seen you guys in forever. I know we're live and stuff. So how's everything going with you guys? I know we have something to talk about, but like, what have you been up to?
Hecticness. So crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been crazy, but you know,
Yeah.
That's what we
crazy
do.
sometimes good.
Yeah.
So
Well, bad and good. Yeah.
all right. So operating manuals.
Yes.
Not exactly a smooth segue, but we're going with it. So the reason Mary asked, what do you want to talk about? And operating manuals. Because there were times when I had the salon when I would be away at a trade show and I'm teaching a class.
Mhm.
So I am not available for questions from my staff.
Mhm. How do we adjust the water heater?
I literally can't help you with that right now. I'm in the middle of teaching a class and that's not going to happen.
Mhm.
I understand you're texting me or you're messaging me, but I am not paying attention to that phone at all because I'm in the middle of a class.
Mhm.
However, I had an operating manual.
Mhm.
That operating manual allowed me to go to a show, to be physically unavailable for questions. And they could say, how do you do this again? What how does that go? What are we supposed to do? Oh, it's in the operating manual.
Mhm.
It's literally right here,
Mhm.
step by step. Every single process and function in the salon was in that operating manual.
Mhm.
Everything from how to clean the bathroom to what cleaners you use to where are they located to what tools and whatnot.
What dilution, where you
Every
find everything, all the things. It's
all
the
of
same process that animal hospitals go through with AHA. That's their certification. You are required to have manuals on absolutely everything. And I know Angie has all the manuals, all of them. And then there's an extra one that is an addendum to all the others.
So, yeah, I mean, I had the employee handbook, I had the operating manual, and that's when you work for a police department, you have SOPs, standard operating procedures. So an operating manual is just a conversion of that. And when you work for a police department, they tell you what uniform you wear, what undershirt you wear, what color socks you wear, what kind of shoes you wear, and all of that is in there, and it's there for a purpose because there are purposes for all of these things.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing as an operating manual for your salon or your house call because it has all your sanitation procedures. And so say you, for whatever reason, you are not at work that day. Maybe it's just simply your day off. And you're out with the family doing stuff. If they don't know, they can, well, I didn't know. Well, you did, or you should have at least known to have checked the operating manual because all of that information is there. So you
And in
can't
your
get,
employee handbook is where you put the little little paragraph telling you where to find the operating manuals.
Correct.
exactly.
And have it in multiple places, but yes.
Yes. And so, well, I didn't know that I was supposed to clean the tub at the end of the day. Right. So, okay, no. But I knew I hosed it down, but I didn't know I was supposed to do anything else. Aside from the fact that the laminated instructions are literally right next to the tub. In the operating manual, it gives you a step-by-step procedure. And so that's what operating manuals are for. They allow owners to have the ability to step away.
Can
And
I add one thing in there too?
yes,
In my classes, I also teach like time is money and I forget my other one, but that is also what makes your business sellable.
yes,
Is that anyone can come in and purchase your salon and run it, and that's where the value is at when it comes to a sale. Ask Angie.
yes. And that's the thing. And not only that, but there was just a post from a groomer, and she has to go have an unexpected surgery. So she is looking for someone to come into her salon. She works alone. She's going to be out for 8 weeks. 8 weeks. That's 2 months. She is going into surgery. It's kind of an emergency surgery sort of thing in 3 days. Do you think in 3 days she can get some groomer covering up to speed with every single process in her salon?
Not in 3 days.
Literally no way. Not in 3 days. There's not enough time. If she spent 24 hours for the next 3 days, it's still not enough time. So she's got a groomer coming in who is going to be taking over for the next 2 months. And even though she works alone, you should still have an operating manual because you never know. You may need to step away unexpectedly for 2 months and have someone else come in run your salon while you are away unexpectedly, how do you convey your process so that when you return in 2 months, your salon isn't literally upended and your tub isn't full of mold, your table isn't disgusting, your tools aren't ruined?
That's the biggest compliment I get when someone walks in is, "I love that you have processes and I can run and do the job."
Mhm.
And because of those, I just have a person starting, hopefully soon from PetSmart, and she I asked her, "So what do you think you're gonna like most about this job?" And she's like, "I like that it's not going to smell."
Aw.
Right? I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my
Poor
gosh."
thing.
Right? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, the nice part is that bar is low, so, ha, I got it.
Mhm.
I win.
Yeah.
But no, like, it really everyone knows how to clean, everyone knows how to do their job. It can run while I'm doing trade shows,
Yep.
and yeah, and that's the biggest compliment is that, my new receptionist, she's going through our book and she's looking it up, and guess who doesn't have to train as hard?
Mm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I don't like training.
Well, and
That's
that's
good.
the other thing is I am not a micromanager. I
Me either.
tell people that on their working interview, if you need a micromanager for this position, this this is not going to work out. I have, and when I was in the salon, so much to do that is all my stuff.
Mhm.
I don't have time to be micromanaging your stuff.
Mhm.
You know what you're supposed to do. Do it. If you have questions, I'm open. I'm happy to answer whatever it is that you need. But I am not going to be checking every single one of your processes. Once you are trained, I expect that this will be done how you are trained.
Mhm.
If you need a reference guide, they're laminated and posted at the appropriate station places. They're right there. Very, and I had dyslexic employees that needed pictures instead of words. And then I had others that preferred words over pictures. That's fine. They're next to each other.
Mhm.
Whatever works for you. Everybody learns different. Everybody thinks different. So I try to vary it. So everybody's got whatever they need. And if you have that, you can do this.
Absolutely. And along with those manuals, include your emergency protocol manual, which is of utmost importance. The employee manual should include where all those stations are, where you can get that information.
Yeah.
It should all be all cohesive so that everybody knows where to go. If they didn't read their employee manual, I don't know what to do for you.
On that should be practiced monthly, at least, at most every 6 months.
Mhm.
Simply because you never know. I mean, accidents and emergencies are unplanned issues. So, you don't go, you know what? I think today we're going to have a tornado. No, it is what it is. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, geez, now you have 20 dogs in the salon.
Mhm.
How do 3 people get 20 dogs out of a salon? In moments,
Mhm.
not in 20 minutes. You don't have 20 minutes. You have 3.
Yeah.
So,
Although an emergency protocol manual is a whole other topic for like a whole show.
right.
You would, however, that should be included. So when you're looking
Yep.
at your library of protocols, that is all something that you should include. How to use the eye wash station, how to do all those other things. That's
Yep.
super important. And you're right, Angie, you should be practicing your safety measures. Even as far as if somebody gets a cut foot, how do you treat that? Somebody should be able to take a dog and mock treat that so that everybody knows how to do it and what it looks like. How to wrap a bandage, how to clean, how to put, KY jelly on something to keep it moist so they can stitch it up, all the things.
You could
So.
just work with me. I'm clumsy enough where I put my head into things and snap it open, brush against like open screws and nails
Nice.
that
Yeah.
we didn't even know were popping out of the wall in the
Mhm.
break room. And yeah, it'll all show you how to do that stitch it and everything. It's yeah. You just work with me, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that's overlooked because it's paperwork. And a
Mhm.
lot of groomers want to just do the art and collect the money, and really they put it off. But then when you need it, it's not there if you put it off. That's something you should buckle down, get it done. And even if they're old protocols, that's something. So just do it and put it in some binders and put it somewhere where everybody knows where it's at.
You can actually, there are people that will do it for you.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Yes.
I actually do that as a service. But
So
I'm not
for
the only one.
the operational manual or for the emergency disaster manual?
The operating manual.
Yes. Oh no, don't ask me to do that.
Yeah,
And
I will actually create an operating manual for your entire salon, and have. And I actually just finished one today, and it was right. I finished it, and then I saw that post by that groomer, and I'm like, "Oh, please tell me you have an operating manual." And
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm not gonna say anything because I felt bad. But I mean, in 3 days, there's, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to rub salt in her wound. She's got enough she's dealing with. So,
Otherwise, you're just throwing somebody in there and then hoping that the place doesn't burn down while you're gone. And if they serve your clients halfway decent and, don't rob you and collect all the money that they're supposed to, it's a win in some instances. So if you want to mitigate that a little bit and hopefully direct them in the right direction so that they know what the procedures are, you can really have somebody have a better time taking over your spot. It's a lot easier to do that if it's written down what to do.
Yeah, she does at least have a contract. So there's like so there's, I hope everything goes great all the way around. But,
all right. So here's like a little quick test to see whether or not you need an operational manual. All right. So grab one of your children, doesn't matter what age they are, place them in front of your door to your grooming salon and tell them, get set up for the day.
Well, mine doesn't count because she's a groomer. So
Okay,
handle it.
but here,
done.
but does every groomer know how to lock, unlock the doors, get the computer set up? I mean, there's so many little things to getting started that as a business owner, we take for granted.
How to work the credit card machine, how to do all that stuff. That's super important.
You know, all the little things. So get your tween, okay? And ask them to do that.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of these things, but the door won't open.
Oh, you're better women than me because I wouldn't. I just close it down and be like, oh, vacation, 2 months, bye. If I had to pin on a tween. I can see it now. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Mary is right. They should be able to go to the written thing and say, okay, this is how you do this, and carry it to the thing and be able to do it, whatever it is.
And this is where it's located, and this is how I find it, and all of it.
And if a tween can do it, you did it right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's everything should be spelled out clearly. And that's the biggest thing, so that there can't be any misunderstandings or confusion. And that's important.
Okay.
For weird facts.
It's time for weird facts because I went shopping today.
Oh, I gotta go. My tornado siren's going off. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, holy cow. Speaking of tornadoes.
Right. She's got a manual for that.
Right.
And
Holy
did she
cow.
come back? No.
Uh-oh.
All right. Denise is not here. Tornado warning is going off.
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
Okay, so this is on muskox, and muskox can run up to 37 miles an hour. Their horns can grow up to 2 feet long. And if I can figure out how to make this box go away. So they have an outer coat and an inner coat. Think of, well, I can't think of any. Well,
They're a double-coated ox.
they're a double-coated ox. So, but here's the crazy thing. Okay, not only are they a double-coated ox, that their inner coat, it's called a caveat, and it's spelled. All right, come on, stupid box. Move the stupid box. It's called a caveat.
A doodle ox. And Mandy, that was a real tornado warning for Denise.
Oh yeah,
So Denise is getting into shelter right now.
yeah. So the caveat, the undercoat on the muskox, is the warmest fur that exists, or one of the. It is 8 times warmer than sheep's wool. So imagine having a jacket or a blanket made of
That
the
would be amazing.
and they're tundra. They're in the tundra. They're in the Arctic, so it is freezing cold,
Mhm.
and so are the people that are living there. And if you had a blanket that was 8 times warmer than sheep's wool, that'd be so cozy.
That would be very cozy.
So this is the weirdest thing. So muskox actually have a pocket of air, the males, and they have a pocket of air at the top of their head and in between their skull and their brain, so that during mating season, when the males are smashing their heads together to say, I want that lady, you can't have her. And so when they're doing that,
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
they don't turn their brains to mush. So they can run at 37 miles an hour, smash their head into the other male's head, and not turn themselves into like mush brains. So nature
I'm
has,
adding that to the list of animals I won't hug.
yeah. So the nature has actually provided for the male muskox to be literally butting heads over a woman.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Okay, Denise just came back on, but she's not here, so I don't know what that is. Are you here, Denise?
It's Denise's tornado.
Yeah, so whatever.
She keeps trying to reconnect. That's what it is.
Okay. So I am now Googling portable tornado siren. I wonder if that would be hooked up to like a radio system.
Probably.
So now I have homework. Thank you, Denise.
If we get a tornado, there's certainly something wrong in Denmark. If I get a tornado in my area.
Okay, but here's the thing. Let me just true story. Okay? Connecticut doesn't get tornadoes, right? It's not.
Oh, yes, it does.
Except for the 2-day period that it got in a 3-town area, got 2 tornadoes, 2 microbursts, and something else in a 2-day period.
That's crazy to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not common. No, in fact, the only people that died during that were those who are not familiar with tornado safety and got in their cars and tried to outrun it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not outrunning a tornado.
You're not outrunning it.
Sorry.
When I lived in Massachusetts, the road that I lived on, there was a tornado that hit in 1812.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was an F4.
Mhm.
But this was in 1812. When I moved there, late 1990s, walking through the woods, you could still see the path the tornado took
Yep.
in 1812 because the divot in the ground was so wide and so deep that while there was brush in it, wasn't anything else. And it had been over 180 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yikes. And there was a tornado here in Florida, not super close, but close enough where my elderly neighbor called me up. And because I live in a brick home, she said, if the tornado comes our way, can I come to your house? And I was like, the door's open.
Mm-hmm.
You just come right in.
And I promise you, we do get other stuff, but
Yeah,
probably not tornadoes. Yeah, we get really bad sandstorms, which seems to be, a sandstorm. People die. Any kind of microburst or flooding from the mountains, you don't hear about until about 20 minutes later when your car's floating down the, down the way. So, I mean, some dangerous things do happen. So you do have to be aware of those things.
Yeah. So the reason that one of the tornadoes didn't do a lot of damage is because the path it took was actually along the highway. So you could just see the trees along the highway just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first time I came to Florida was probably as an adult, probably 20 years ago. And I was driving down 95, and there was a tornado on the other side of the highway, and it was just kind of cruising along next to 95, and it's like, that's a tornado. So my speed increased because tornado. And the faster I went, the faster the tornado went.
I'm following you.
And yeah, and no matter where the road went, the tornado just seemed to follow it. And eventually, there was a large turn to the right. And it was in one of the Carolinas. And the tornado kept going straight. And I took the turn to the right. And it was like, oh, all right, I need a rest area like right now. Because holy cow, it was terrifying. And it wasn't a big, huge tornado. It was like an F1 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little one, but still
Little baby tornado.
Mm-hmm. Was it a doodle? Was it a F11, a F1?
Yeah.
Everything is a doodle.
Yes, it was an F1 doodle tornado. Yeah, but it wasn't very big around. Maybe like 15-ish.
Yeah, Florida gets a lot of storms.
And
it's stormy there. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and this was in one of the Carolinas. I don't remember which one. But it was scary. And that was just a little dinky thing.
So I think the point with emergency disaster planning, okay, is that the flooding that happened, it was in Asheville, North Carolina, was in a mountain area.
Mm-hmm. They didn't think they were going to get flooded by it.
They didn't think they were going to get flooded. So the point being, well, because I had somebody who told me they didn't take the class at Tacoma because, nothing ever happens here in Washington.
That's a great point.
And I'm like, okay, we have like 7 active volcanoes here, right? Okay.
Tsunami.
We're in an earthquake and a tsunami zone, correct? You do know that, right? And again, just because the Pacific side doesn't get many hurricanes, they still get a
Other
hurricane.
things, yeah.
Yeah. Just because something isn't common or you don't even think about it, okay. I mean, unless you're in California, all right. Earthquakes don't happen a lot enough to actually even cause any damage.
All it takes is one time.
But all it takes is just that one time.
And really, you've put it in my head too. What if here I'm sitting in the middle of the Sonoran Desert, basically? What if I got flooded? What if my home was flooded? Where would I go? What would I take? Do I have a bag ready? Yes, I do. Yeah, I have a bag to take that covers all of us. But I mean, you should sit where you are, stand in the place that you are, and absolutely think about what would I do if I was flooded? What would I do if there was an actual tornado or a hurricane or earthquake or blackout, which is very possible. Look at Spain right now. Crazy. So, I mean, you should think about and just go through the list of every natural disaster you can think of and say, hey, what would I do in that circumstance?
There's a book that lists all of that.
Do tell, Mary.
Okay. The emergency disaster planning template. positiveed.com/books.
Yeah.
All right. We're past time. Okay. We'll have to check in on Denise later. So we'll make sure Denise puts marked safe thing on her Facebook.
Yeah, Mark safe from tornado. And, it was only a couple weeks ago that one of the groomers we all know, her entire salon got flipped upside down by a tornado. So yeah, Amy Edgington lost her salon. The tornado picked it up and rolled it.
Right, has she put in an application for the Pet Stylist Relief Fund?
I'm not sure.
You should ask her.
I will.
Okay.
Because her whole everything is just upside down. Her lost her car too. Yeah, like Kayla said, it was upside down, and I mean, like, this is right side up. It was like this. It was on its roof, and she was just sitting there. There's a picture of her just sitting on the porch, and it was
Yeah, what now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it could happen. And it can happen like that.
All right, ladies. Some of us will be here next week. Or all of us might be here next week.
Maybe. And I'll be reporting on the Bridgerton garden party.
Oh, we're going to
That's
definitely
this
get more
Sunday.
about that.
So yeah, I'm finishing up the finishing touches on the dresses, putting more bows on, tightening up everything, and we will be sharing buku pictures. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
Okay.
I will be teaching in Virginia this coming Sunday. I have a health pet first aid and CPR class. So I don't know if I will be here on Tuesday. I'm not sure.
I am more than likely, barring accidents, I will be here.
All right. So will I. Okay. So we'll see everybody next week.